What's up, friends? This is Manni, and today I want to show you the only acceptable way to spend 200 freaking power cells in one active module use. And that, of course, is by running hurricanes on a Typhon. Of course, this is how you can do it. It's not breaking the game, yet it is so much fun to do. Now, let's be honest about this. I mean, I don't think any freaking active module should ever cost this many power cells. And the idea of bypassing shields for 45 seconds straight just doesn't go well with me, because in my opinion, it just destroys very many robots. But I've said this many of times. Now, I wanted to find a way on how to actually enjoy this nonsense, if we want to call it, and that is very well done by running freaking hurricanes on the Typhon with not the Daredevil skill, but the opposite actually, the legendary pilot that gives us more damage output every time we activate our ability, right? So you can argue maybe you can do a little more damage with the Daredevil skill version, but we still have our ability in case we're getting attacked in short range, right? And every time I fire for 5 seconds after, I also do a lot of damage after. I'll show you the setup after this first match, okay? I do it a little differently this time, showing you the awesome gameplay and then the setup. Yeah, so ladies and gents, I hope you're starting off into a wonderful week. I already sit here with my coffee. I've prepared this gameplay, 2 days ago actually. Coffee tastes good, and I guess it's just time to do some damage from halfway across the map. Remember the Hydras, ladies and gents? This is so insane. Hydras were like the most hated weapon in the game, and even up to this point, Hydras still causing headaches. Look at that Crisis robot there. Bye, dude! He made a mistake of opening fire when I was ready to shoot, because it takes him 5-6 seconds to re-enter into stealth. That is enough time for all my salvos to reach him in the other side of the map. Now that is a flying Fafnir. And actually he was relatively stationary in that moment. But yeah, so this guy I won't hit, because I think he's squeezed against the wall somehow. Yeah, but remember the Hydras, ladies and gents, it's what I wanted to say. Those things are still considered to be one of the most annoying things in the game, because they hit you in this incredibly annoying way. First off, the sound of the Hydras is annoying. Secondly, when they hit like boom, 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 boom for such a long time constantly, it just gets this feeling of absolute annoyance, okay? The Hurricanes, they don't hit you in this annoying way, but they hit you way harder, so they are much more dangerous. And yeah, so it's fun playing team deathmatch with Hurricanes. This is something you can really do pretty well these days. Although, of course, you know, Shenlus can just delete you if they want to, right? They just jump onto one teammate, and from there they jump onto you, and then you having a pretty bad chance to survive this. So there's something that can just delete you from the game. But if you're a little lucky like I was here in this queue, or in this match, there aren't too many Shenlus around, and you can just hit flying Fafnirs, bypass their shields with this freaking active module, and basically just ruin the game for the entire enemy team there. They're eventually no longer leaving spots into the open where they know you can hit them. They will just stand behind walls, they squeeze against corners, they make sure there is no possible way for your homing rockets to hit you. And the other guys, the Reaper Crisis, they will constantly try and snipe you back, but he's also safe from me. Now there's the next guy coming, a Skyros. Let's see how this is gonna go. Oh, and by the way, guys, if you like the content and you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, consider subscribing. Would be amazing, right? So there is a Daymater, and one salvo later, there is no Daymater. And even if he had activated his shield, the stupid module would have made it so that I would bypass it anyways. The same what the heck? I just killed randomly a Scorpion that jumped in between the Skyros and me. I guess he jumped on me, wanted to kill me, and I was just walking back, and I wanted to shoot the Skyros, and I accidentally hit the stealth Scorpion and killed him. What the heck just happened there, man? That was random as heck. Alright, but you know, this is the thing that will happen. People will be coming for you. You run this setup, they'll be coming for you. And if you kill them, and they didn't succeed, they look at you really mean, and they'll say, I'll be back. and they'll be back because they hate you with a passion. When you shoot them up a bunch of times with these freaking hurricanes, they make it their life's goal to get you. And, you know, normally they will eventually succeed, but if you have a decent team that you can hide behind, that is not even going to work. See, this, for example, I knew there's a Newton Typhon. I knew he can lift me up, and I knew he was trying to walk into his 800 meters range for the lift. So what I walked into this, you know, barricade in front of me, and basically get myself stuck under it. So he started to lift me, and I was just standing in place, nothing happened. Right? And to be honest, I think I would have probably even survived at this point with this much HP and shielding the hit from... Oh boy, this is gonna be bad for you, bro. Bye! I would have survived the hit from the Newton, I believe, but still, it's better not to take it, right? Alright, so how many power cells have we spent already in this video? I don't even know. I imagine we already activated the module 5 times or so, or 6 times perhaps, because it goes for 45 seconds, the match is 6 minutes long. I haven't probably activated it in the first second, but shortly after, and ever since I keep it running. So just imagine how many freaking power cells Pixonic is able to drain from your account. This is something that a lot of game companies do when they realize that players have accumulated too many of some kind of base resource. And this isn't even now going strictly against Pixonic. This is something a lot of game companies do, even some of them that I very well respect, like Wargaming, for example. Every time at the Christmas time, people are able to buy the Christmas boxes at World of Tanks, and you know, they usually yield a lot of gold. And so people know that, and they buy a lot of them, and then eventually they have so much gold laying around on their accounts that Wargaming's like, wait, we need to do something. We need to offer some, I don't know, auctions or tanks so that people can drain their gold. And I believe something similar is happening here with war robots here. I'm assuming that Pixonic maybe thinks we have too many power cells, although I know you guys will disagree, or many of you. Yeah, I guess there are a lot of those who really accumulated a lot of them, and maybe this is like some kind of thing going on for those who do have them, that use them without thinking much about it, and eventually it's going to drain it, right? I'm gonna say it to you here, guys, I really don't use this module. I use it for a fun meme build like this hurricane thing, okay, making a fun video. I mean, you also have to understand, I'm having a return. Like, I make a video, I can show it to thousands of people, and I have a return from that, right? So it's not like, you know, I'm just doing it like maybe you would, and you would just lose your power cells. Your return is, yeah, you can shield break something. And again, I will say here, this is too much to ask for an active module, and on top of that, the active module is really wrong, because there are so many robots in the game that rely on their shields, and this is just basically preventing them from functioning properly. Not a good idea to do it. But yeah, so said this plenty of times, and I feel like in this instance here, I feel like this is kind of a respectable way, or at least an acceptable way, to waste 200 freaking power cells every 45 seconds by providing some kind of a meme fun video with hurricanes. Yeah, so that's good. I'm feeling okay about it. Again, the setup is coming up any second now, where I show you exactly what we're running, the level of things and the pilot skills and stuff, and then you'll see how much damage we have done over the course of this video. Because it's interesting, I've always been able to hide behind my team, and now we're basically about to lose this game because the enemy is just hunting us down with what feels like 10 luchadors, and so I am kind of forced in the end to take matters into my hand and, yeah, try to stop those luchadors from scrapping our team even more. Although, I guess 26-24, it's close, right? But if they make like 3 kills pretty quickly, it could actually end up in them winning. And even though I was running this fun build, I still kind of feel responsible for my team's success here, and so I'm trying to do something about that. Maybe it wasn't even strictly necessary, but better be safe than sorry, right? So, jumping in one last time, 20 seconds left on the clock. Now here, see, I'm making a mistake. Not a mistake that costs us anything, but just a mistake regardless, because there's no way I will kill that luchador in 25 seconds. It's never going to happen. What I could do, though, is kill the Ophion behind me, because he just had his flight, and I could just jump on him and take him down. Easy. But I went for the time-wasting luchador that would never yield anything. So here's the Warrior Typhon, Mark III, Mark II maxed Hurricanes, not Mark III, balanced unit twice and nuclear amps, the unstable conduit, the Pascal drone for 7% base increase damage, and then up to 5 times 7% that lasts throughout the entire match, so additional 35% per every kill you get, then 25% more damage every time for 5 seconds after we activate the ability of the Typhon robot. So it is actually rather close to the performance of the Daredevil skill, but while keeping your ability in the robot. Because if you run the Daredevil skill, you do more damage all the time when you fire, but you no longer have access to your robot's ability. And I feel like there was in the previous match a few situations, once or twice, where I kind of needed it, and I think if I didn't have it, maybe it would have gone the other way. And sometimes it's just good, even if you're not able to kill something, it's good to just hit it, lock it, and walk away, right? So there is a lot of very good use for this ability, and I believe, in my opinion, feel free to tell me what you think about it, but I believe the Typhon doesn't make sense without that ability. That is kind of what he does, right? That blackout is what makes him so awesome. Just running around with a shield and 4 medium weapons, I mean, that is basically a Dagon that has 6 light weapons and a shield, or there are plenty of robots like it. But that blackout, that's what makes the Typhon so unique. And so I kind of don't really want to play it without that. And so the legendary pilot adding bonus damage whenever we fire. This fire was useless. Although I'm sometimes not 100% clear myself on when do you boost your damage. Do I fire the shots and before they hit I boost my damage? Or do I fire the shot, boost my damage, like fire the suppression charge, therefore boost my damage, and then send my rockets on the way with the damage boost loaded into them? I believe it is the latter. I believe I have tested it sufficiently enough to know that it is, in fact, the second and the latter that I just described. But sometimes I am still not so 100% sure. And I feel like Pixonic is sometimes changing that rule too. I don't know if that's true, but I feel like it. Anyways, it's good that we keep that thing. But of course, if you use the Daredevil skill, then you could use the legendary pilot that gives the Typhon a 3 seconds immunity after taking the first, I don't know, couple of percent of damage. Similar to maybe a last stand that you will have at like 80%, right? For 3 seconds. So that's useful, but on the long run, I mean, I'm running this robot for such a long period of time, and eventually I'll take a little bit of damage and I heal it back up. So I believe this 3-second invincibility would run into nowhere most of the time. It is useful though when you get jumped on by a... Wow, this guy almost died from one salvo. It is useful when you get jumped on by a Shenlu, for example. Imagine you jump onto a Typhon, right, with a Shenlu, and you expect this guy to just die, because that's, you know, what typically things do when you have the electric weapons and you jump on them. Now, the Typhon, however, is running a Shade drone and has that legendary pilot. So he basically has a shield that you have to first drop, and then he has, so to speak, 3 freaking last stands that will make it impossible for you to kill him in any timely manner. Like, it takes forever. The first thing, at 80% you stop doing damage, then comes the first last stand, and then you have to reload your electric weapons because now you're empty. and then you drop him again, and pop, there goes the second last stand from the actual last stand module, or from the Shade drone. I'm not even sure which one comes first. But yeah, so that would be an annoying thing to attack. I can already see myself raging over it, trying to take out a Typhon that has all these 3 things. And then having, oh yeah, and then he's got Disguise unit on top. Not so important, not so useful against the electric weapons, but generally he enters into 2 times stealth, he has 3 last stands, and the shield that pops up in between, right? After the stealth, he has regenerated a little bit of his shield every time. My goodness, would that be annoying. Maybe I think I should just build this just to mess with some brawlers or scorpions who, you know, think they can just take me out real quick. That would be fun too. But yeah, so ladies and gents, we're coming slowly but surely to the end of this video. I am a little surprised to see that we can do amounts of damage. Oh man, how much was it? 4 or 5 million? I didn't even look at it. But we can do multiple millions of damage with hurricanes now across the entire map. Think back to the Hydra times, ladies and gents. Hydras were like, if you did 1 million damage with Hydras, you had a pretty good match. And this was a different kind of war robots. People didn't run around with 500,000-600,000 HP and had the ability to heal gray HP, and you know, there was not even healing to begin with back in those days, right? So you had a robot with 130,000 health. If it was a tankier robot, it was like 160,000 or maybe 200, but there was barely any healing at all or none at all. Yeah, I mean, this is a few shots and you'll be destroyed. But then again, the weapons would also deal so much less damage, so that if you did 1 million damage with Hydras, you would have had a good, really freaking strong match. It was so difficult to get 1 million damage in with Hydras. I would, for example, have run the Fujin with Hydras, because it has an energy shield on top that protects against enemy Hydras, for example, right? Or later on, I mean, it would have been the Haichi. The Haichi was super popular then too, because it had the energy shield on the move. Wow, and 3 medium weapons. So just interesting to look at the old game and see how things have changed. If you've had these hurricanes back in those days, you would have been the most broken, dangerous thing in existence. You would have more firepower in brawling short range and than any other sniper in long range too, with these really fast recharging hurricanes. However, I do like that they don't charge up for a long time. One thing I never liked about Trebuchet is it's like this AFK playstyle. You fire and then you can go somewhere for 40 seconds or 30 because you're not going to be loaded anytime soon, you know? It's good that Ballista and, you know, Gauss, Volt, and so other sniper weapons have a faster reload, and perhaps do a little bit less damage per shot. I think that's a good thing. Yeah, overall, of course, the damage has gone together with the development of the game massively upwards. Insanely high upwards, in fact. When a robot like this that doesn't need line of sight can just do 5-6 million or whatever from 1,100 meters away with nearly perfectly accurate weapons. Although fast-running robots can outwalk them, but most of the time you score decent hits. Yeah, so let me know what you think, ladies and gents. I hope, or I wish you a good start into the week. See you around. Manni signing off. Bye-bye, my friends.